I don't know how I managed it. I made an incredibly cursed mod pack. Look at this thing. Ugh. What is this? Why does the bow shoot meteors? Why is there a SpongeBob with his Oh. Right. My friend built that. Yeah. I wasn't alone. I invited my friends, and forced my roommate, to play this cursed Minecraft mod pack I made for 365 days. We set out to spend an entire year in this cursed, broken, and unhinged Minecraft server. In the last episode, we started the world, cut some trees, found a spot for our home, you know, the whole Minecraft thing, found a scary dungeon called the Evil, then another dungeon, even scarier, called the Eviler. We died a lot, crashed a lot, I got married, and that hasn't been going great. Comp against decapitating monsters, Twice hates everything we've been doing, Kyle hides in a hole, and then we did a mini game where I accidentally cleared my entire inventory, and watched my husband win the challenge. With that challenge out of the way, and my inventory cleared, I craft some osmium armor. Then I make an enchanting room at the wizard tower and enchant said osmium armor. But even with my new armor, I was no match for a baby zombie. Walk, wah, wah. Stop, huh? Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop. What? I'm Mario! Mad takes down and removes the old structure that was once his home. You know, since it had that giant hole in it for weeks, giving way to new possibilities for what he can call his home. And the first thing Mad does is expand his walls, claiming more land for himself. I didn't just need new armor, I also needed an entirely new set of tools, since those are also gone, and forge a whole new set. With my new tools, I take on a dungeon and just struggle the whole time. Natalie also finally decides to leave the village and spread her wings, starting on her own house.
Yeah, I just kind of want to be in like my own little area.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Get away from the village at least.
Yeah, me and Fresky have our own little spot.
You two are still married, aren't you?
Unfortunately. I learned a new spell called Summon Zombie, and it should be pretty self-explanatory, I assume. I use it, and it's what I thought it was. It's pretty awesome. I also find a spider egg and hatch a baby spider. With them at my side, I can take down any... Oh god, no. Zombie, stop eating the spider! No! My zombie killed the baby spider!
Aww.
You fucking monster! After my day was ruined, I get an imbuement altar. It's totally legit, I didn't cheat it in, and place it in the tower, allowing for the ability to repair old magical books and learn spells, which is, I guess, a bit of something that makes me feel a little better. Natalie, fortunately, has a much better day than I do, and gets tons of wood, and even learns a new bending skill, combustion bending. Matt lays out the new foundations of his home. And we built up some walls to keep the villagers safe from all those hostile mobs. Natalie and I decide to go on an adventure together and locate the stronghold, loot the place, and even activate the portal. We find tons of awesome loot, like lightning bending scrolls for Natalie and a witch hat for me. I spend a few days building a much needed thing to make our world a little less cursed than it is. A McDonald's, cause that's not cursed at all. It makes it so we have an easy place to store food and make it easier to craft food that'll heal more than one sliver on a hunger bar. It takes a few days, and once I finish it, it's there in all of its bricky glory. It's even fitted with a play place. I also threw together a new set of armor, a chainmail chest plate, some diamonds, some slime, and even put on my wizard hat. Just kind of what I had lying around. I decided to give everyone a tour of the McDonald's, and everyone seems pretty happy. Happy meal? That is everyone but Mad. He's not a happy meal, he's a mad meal. A very mad meal. We've seen a pattern of him expanding his walls lately, with the aim of claiming as much land as possible, and it seems the McDonald's was directly in the way of those plans. Mad went as far as threatening to sue me.
Sorry to everyone who wanted food, but I will be hitting this place with a lawsuit so hard it will be dismantled. Good day.
Of course, with the advanced legal system in our Minecraft server, I was shitting bricks. He gave me an ultimatum. He'd sue me, or we have to rebrand.
It sounds like McAvocado.
Okay, oh my god, yes, it is owned by Nicola. Does anyone know how to build like a pixelated avocado on the brick wall right here? If someone wants to build a pixelated
like
avocado.
graffiti.
I won't sue the place if you name it McAvocado.
With little choice, I accepted the rebrand. After the dust is settled, a firebender moves into Twice's house, I upgrade my wand, and Mad encounters an ent while cutting wood to improve his house. Still cutting down trees, Mad finds a growth sprite, the cutest little guy to walk the earth. Mad, of course, falls head over heels for it and wants to keep it as a pet. Wanting to show it off to me, Mad teleports me, against my will, might I add, and out of frustration, I freeze the little guy. I realize I might have acted too irrationally and zap it to try to get the ice off. But it turns out all he did was anger the little guy. He makes his way to hit me, and he vanishes?
Where did it go?
It turns out that random chainmail chest plate that I just happened to throw on me had an enchantment on it. One none of us knew of, but it turns out it would just teleport things away that hit me every now and then. So yeah, Mad's pet was gone. Never to be seen again. But at least I learned something about my chest plate that's pretty cool. Twice digs up some land and cuts some trees to continue working on his home, and even falls for a sinister trick by Kyle, who'd been spending the entire day placing signs around the city saying, spell ICUP.
ICUP.
Yeah. Twice unfortunately fell for the classic blunder and suffered the consequence of ridicule by both Kyle and myself.
Great. That was great.
And Mad finally starts to build up part of his house. Kav and I start on the next big project that would help everyone out. Flying rings that would grant creative flight. We head to the nether to fight some wither skeletons, since they drop an item that we need to craft the rings. But turns out the wither spawn rate's really low, and the drop items are even lower. So the answer to that, well, it's certainly not cheating. Kav and I just so happened to have a trial made for him in the overworld, where tons of them just happened to spawn for Kav to kill. They also happened to drop a ton of those items we needed. Kyle also doesn't cheat. Again, we would never do that. And he gathers some materials for his own special project. I wonder what those colors of wool are for. Kav and I used the drops from the wither skeletons to craft these things called cursed lassos. Lassos? Whatever. They work like Pokeballs, where you can lower the health of a hostile mob and capture it inside. We also make some golden ones that can be used to capture neutral mobs. Kyle finishes his big project. Look at all that wool I've done. I see. Creativity radiates from Kyle, so we commissioned him to design some lovely wall art for our villagers. And what's the most beautiful type of art that can inspire and uplift the masses? You guessed it, NFTs. Obviously, a bunch of slimes spawn at Mad's house, the reason he made the walls in the first place, and works together with Twice to take them out. Kav and I spend the entire day tracking down all we need for the flying rings: squids, bats, chickens, and ghasts. Unfortunately for the latter, it seems the ghasts weren't spawning in the nether because of the Lysinites mobs, which is, oh, so cool. I guess ghasts aren't considered good enough or something, I don't know. But we do find a very good answer to this. Kav continues his awesome challenge. Kav finishes not 1, not 2, not 4, but 3 CryptoPunks on the wall murals. Feel free to screenshot, of course. These stunning, breathtaking, and awe-inspiring pieces of art will surely lift the happiness within our village. Mad, now being the owner of Mikado Avocado, no cheating doing this, of course, because we, again, would never, makes a new logo. What else other than an avocado to do it justice? Kav finishes up our ring mission by crafting them together. As for me though, I get distracted and start building a dinosaur lab in my basement. Kav builds a water turbine to turn flowing water into power to allow our wings to activate for us to fly. I don't know why our magical rings needed man-made power, but here we are. Twice attacks me, completely unprovoked might I add. I was just giving him sand and placing it in his house as a nice gift. He of course gets what he deserves, and my armor teleports him into a dungeon, freaking him out. For the next few days, Mad upgrades his walls, even more than before, you know, to keep the slimes out. I work on dinos, making a little building, and also accidentally causing a catastrophic accident that may or may not have thrown slime literally everywhere because they attacked me and my armor teleported them and then slime went everywhere. Oops! Kyle and Mad fight a John that has been blessed by the heavens. Or perhaps Kyle is just cursed. Either way, Kyle fails to kill this as a lightning bolt that could only ever come from some sort of deity crashes down and kills him. And everyone sees just how bad this slime disaster was. An even lower moment stands in front of me, cleaning my mess. I began to clean up, but like anyone with ADHD, I wander off and make a liminal pool under my basement. No, I never finished cleaning the slime. Why would you ask that? I promise you, you won't have to ask again, because I'm telling you now, it doesn't happen. Matt improves Kyle's pride flag with some beautiful glowstone. Twice works on his home just outside of the city, but once again, out of the blue, he just totally attacks me. For no reason. I was just showing him new spells I learned by freezing him and spawning monsters. See? Totally unprovoked.
Let's see. I still got my... What the fuck happened? What are you doing? Just putting jizz on me? Oh. What the fuck? Stop spawning shit in my castle, alright? You fucking wizard.
But don't worry, my armor sends him into a cave. Far away. Or far under. Unfortunately, just as my other friends were dragged into this whole thing, so was my friend Charles. And no, he has no idea what he's in for. Charles starts to get settled in by making a cleaver and some armor. And you know what? I feel that I get inspired and begin to upgrade my own armor. But it's a bit more involved than just crafting something out of iron or diamond lying around. I have to collect this blue magic fire dust stuff to upgrade my armor into that of a storm wizard. Remember that spot from earlier where we did the mob tournament and where Cobb also faced the Ghast and Wither trials? I used some mob spawners from God knows when in the past, maybe around the first 2 to 3 weeks probably, and activate them to spawn a whole bunch of wisps with different elements to farm. I got way more than I needed and was easily able to upgrade my armor. As a matter of fact, I was actually able to upgrade it twice. And with that, I became a storm warlock, which means I have an affinity for lightning type magic. Somehow, I get the ability to summon a pet. I really have no idea how it happened, but I do. I go show it to Kyle, and it turns out it's the Loch Ness Monster. That's actually pretty cool. Oh, wait, it's suffocating in sand. Oh, Matt, stop. No, then it suffocates on air. In cobblestone? I don't know. It all happened so fast, I have no idea what's happening. To top it off, he just combusts. So, there went my new pet. Immediately. Later in the day, my Loch Ness Monster spawns again. He's back. He suffocates in the air again. No. What the fuck? Unfortunately, that will be the last we see of my awesome, unnamed, cool water Loch Ness Monster pet. He never comes back. It's very sad. It's also been nearly 50 days since I've seen my husband, who's out who knows where and with who knows who. I start to express some frustration to this and take a long look at my divorce papers that Twice prepared back on Valentine's Day. Though all those feelings seem to have to go out the window as we are suddenly attacked by a level 100 angel demon thing. We all fight it and struggle immensely. Mad uses his lucky bow and accidentally spawns lava, which rains down on our city. It's become pretty noticeable here. The numbers even show it, as it literally says level 100, that our world is getting more difficult by the day. We decide that it's probably best to change course and take out the Ender Dragon before she becomes impossible to beat. Turns out even now, as it has had the time to get stronger, the Ender Dragon is already a rough time for us. The dragon is infernal, which means despite the pretty rainbow swirls coming off of it, it's actually much stronger and has random effects that can either heal it, make it stronger, make it attack more, make it more defensive, anything quite like that. The server crashes over and over and over. Not sure if it's the end, the monsters, the overworld, or a combination of all three, but the crashes make this whole fight way more annoying than it has to be, and it makes the battle last for what feels like an eternity. We all focus on the dragon and take down a bunch of its health, but Mad and his lucky bow manages to make the end look like the spawn of 2B2T. Mad and Kov were really the front runners of this battle. As for Kyle and I, we die on repeat over and over. The server isn't happy about Mad's success, and very intentionally and very maliciously crashes his game, and his game alone. Mad begs and pleads that we let him get the final blow.
Please wait, my game crashed,
Oh, he died.
Who died?
Ender Dragon.
You think the Ender Dragon?
Oh my god.
Kav uses this time to farm Mutant Enderman to get a cool item that allows him to teleport. Kyle, on the other hand, who hasn't actually hit the dragon a single time, walks up and taps it, you know, like a good friend would, and kills it, just as Mad rejoins.
Oh, I think I killed it. Oh, I killed it.
You killed what?
Good for you.
The dragon.
Oh.
No, I shouldn't have done that. I think I've just made an enemy.
A forever enemy.
It turns out the server is so fucked that the dragon lays not 1, but 2 eggs. That's weird. Kav shows off his nifty new teleport item. He and I teleport around, him with his item and me with my magic. Scuff Puppy rejoins us again. It's been a while, just as long as Fresky's been gone, who, might I mention, is still gone. Those divorce papers are looking more appealing every day. Scuff gets a tour of all the changes in our world, but is primarily interested in the glorious CryptoPunk NFT art murals.
It better not be an ape. Oh my god. Not
You're
the
welcome.
CryptoPunk.
That's not the CryptoPunk.
Kav is also enjoying a blast from the past as he goes into a dungeon and notices a ton of unopened Lucky Block crates from that challenge that we had nearly 90 days ago. I find an evil knight and take it on, bringing Kav, Kyle, and Sam to join me, and we die. We all die. We learn through multiple failures and deaths that there is a weak spot on this Goliath. Once it swings down, it reveals the sword on its back. You hit it there, and that sword will tear deeper through his armor. Kyle gets a cool new axe, and Kav gets a cool new helmet. I also decide it's time we hunt some dungeons, but with no idea how to find them, I get a gift from an unworldly force called Creative Mode, and get some dungeon spawns, and we take them on. Spoiler alert, they all sucked. I mean it, every single one. So, to free up some space, some big changes were made. Mods were removed. The server had become virtually unusable for some time now, and got worse by the day, to the point where it wasn't a bit anymore. It was just annoying and exhausting. Unfortunately, there was an effect this did have. Removing certain mobs from spawning freed up the world for more mobs to spawn, with tons of new and freaky and difficult creatures to haunt our nightmares. Like this guy, a crypt creeper who attacks Mad. To defend himself, Mad, who hasn't learned his lesson yet somehow, shoots his lucky bow in his backyard and launches a meteor into it. Twice continues to work on his castle, while Mad, Kyle, Natalie, Charles, Kav, and I decide to go to the Twilight Forest. We fight giant trees, find cool mazes, and the server crashes multiple times. Seems like the server is still crying in agony, albeit just a slightly bit less. Mad, who realizes dying while lagging isn't actually all that fun, goes back home to continue working on his backyard. However, the rest of us make our way to a Naga Den, a ferocious snake monster who's actually renowned for being easy. But, not this one. Just like the Ender Dragon, this snake was infernal, and had such high regen and resistance, any health that had gone down would immediately regenerate. Anytime we make any headway on this battle, the server would crash, and by the time it reboots, he'd have enough time to regenerate his entire health bar again. It takes a while for us to put our small brains together, but we finally figure out a solid strategy. We just have to work together! We attack it as fast as possible, except for Kav, who is fighting a tree. But we do take it out. I use the kill at A command to get us home quicker, forgetting that Twice and Mad are both in the overworld. What the fuck? This causes a great feud. A feud where the kill command is spammed and used violently and without remorse. This in particular affects Mad when his weapon is stolen by an Enderman, and when trying to retrieve it, is killed before being able to pick it up. Mad's anger only fuels the situation more. Just as he heads to grab the blade, he is warped 2,000 blocks into the air.
Where am I?
Staying out of this fight, Twice decides to go mining for cobblestone to help build up his castle. Unfortunately, that won't save him from an @A kill command. This also affects everyone else, like in Charles' case, who's cutting some wood for his first base, or Mad, who's still terraforming his backyard from desert to dirt. I desecrate a dream sexual flag in front of Kyle.
Burn
See
it
what
at
I
the
think
stake.
about you and your pride? But I do end up feeling a little bad, so I try to put the fire out with liquid. It turns out oil is not the right liquid to use. Mad, feeling inspired by the situation, builds a statue that even challenges the works of Michelangelo himself. Beautiful. Twice, also inspired by Mad's new statue, builds an even more stunning piece of work that he titles Dookie Under Dream, turning a once serious and honorable piece of art into a piece of discussion and satire, telling that all art is but how we perceive it, changing the notion of what art is and will be considered for future generations to come. On the other side of the city, Natalie and Charles cut down wood together, completely baffled and confused about what the point of this mod pack is.
I was asking if you knew anything about what goes on in this mod pack.
Who's altering my
Oh,
statue?
honestly, I don't know.
It turns out the piece of art stirred so much controversy that it was attacked by a lucky potion bombing run by Kov, who blew up the top of the structure. The oil continues to burn like an everlasting fire pit in front of Kyle's house. Man decides to put out the oil spill by cleaning it up and turning it into a wonderful lake. Kyle, who's grown more than frustrated with me, grabs Twice, and the two of them build something to really teach me a lesson once and for all. They build SpongeBob with his dick out. Oh, and look at that, he's two-sided. In retaliation for the retaliation, I run to Twice's house and turn a bunch of his wood into chests and crafting tables. Twice attacks me and my armor, which teleports him deep, deep underground once again.
Fine.
Get out of creative!
I'm just trying. Twice, oh Twice! Find which one holds your wood! Kyle, what are you doing?
It's just kind of a nice floor, you know?
Dude, he was on your side. He helped you with the fucking sponging.
I didn't realize this was about sides.
Yeah, why you guys helping each other, Kyle? God, what are you doing?
In Twice's retaliation, to my retaliation, to Kyle's retaliation, keeping up with our harmless and silly pranks, he decides to pour lava buckets on my wooden house. What the fuck? Who fucking put lava on my house and is burning it down? Twice actually put lava on my house.
I think
Oh my
you
God.
might have done at least one thing to deserve that.
Not lava. His thing's replaceable. This is fire.
You turned all his wood
burning
into
it. It's not burning it, bro.
It's fucking burning down.
It's
There's another
fine.
one.
There's nothing
Oh, no.
wrong with your house.
No, the house is on fire.
No,
Yeah, it's
not.
actually burning down.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
fuck you, Chad. Why did you put lava? It's made of wood! You stupid idiot! It's made of wood! What do you think? Uh-oh. You've played this game for 10 years! What do you mean, uh-oh?
I didn't know you had fire damage on,
Oh,
bro.
I'm sorry, I play the game like not a pussy. Unlike Twice, I remain level-headed and completely calm. But this final blow, finally, allows us to look at things level-headed and shake hands. Friends again. I'm burying this rotten flesh as we are to bury our infighting. Mad updates the now damaged statue into a face. It's nicknamed the Dream Demogorgon statue, with a dookie underneath. Mad also decides to turn the lake into a theme park, a dream-themed theme park.
2 out of 7.
I think it's a pretty good resort. You gotta look up at the fucking like dream from Stranger Things. You get looked over by the house.
Kyle is just like dreamland now. The server just crashed.
No, you just
No.
got kicked by Mad.
But why?
Because
Because you didn't like Dreamland, so you had to leave.
I didn't say I. Okay, yeah, I gave it a 2 out of 7. You're right.
Twice attacks me and is teleported to a dungeon.
Oh!
I didn't even notice this and meet up with Natalie, who had just caught a dog who she named Cujo. I, increasingly fed up, ask if there's a way to finally divorce Fresky. Yeah, I just want to be done with Fresky. We have a very unhealthy relationship. He likes Halo, I don't like Halo right now. And we go through a simple process to claim separation. I know Fresky will fight it, and in that case, we'll have to go through the courts and use the divorce papers, but for now, I'm completely free of him, finally. It's best for the both of us, really. Remember how a little while ago, Kav found a bunch of unopened crates which house lucky blocks in them? It turns out he didn't find them all. Twice, who had recently hit me and was teleported into a dungeon, also finds a ton that were remaining that not even Kav found. And for the first time in the entire series, Twice looks forward to something. And with that, I decide it's time to bring him back to Earth. His miserable Earth. And I teleport him back home, and he's livid.
No!
It's been a while, but Kov goes back to his roots and starts to upgrade his monster summons, now being able to spawn more. So many, it crashes mad. I also get some upgrading in and improve my wand. It's a whole new era of improvements. Charles even finishes his house. Or, well, we'll consider it finished, since he never actually changes it from here on out. Twice and Kyle also decide to upgrade something, and that something being the Demogorgon Dream Statue. And what upgrade do they add? A butthole. They add a butthole. Kyle and Natalie begin to build a courthouse, preparing for when Fresky returns to finally make this marriage officially over. For the 4th of July, we decided to go on a little vacation to go camping. But no camping trip could be complete without a feast of delicious food. We compete to see who can completely fill their table with some classic and delicious camping foods, like a golden apple and stegosaurus meat. Though we do have some more obscure meal options too, like a hamburger.
I don't eat seafood much, but I'm guessing that's not a shrimp.
Oh right, and PvP was allowed too.
We're all on this like little island. Hey motherfuck. I have 0 nothing. You don't want me to die, okay? What are you doing?
Slowly, players dwindle down and down, giving up, literally running out of time, or just falling super far behind.
You wanna know something great? I only have 2 things.
It becomes an extremely close race between 2 people, Kyle and myself. Meal after meal, calorie after calorie, we trail just a few dishes in front or behind the other. It boils down to some cooked fish. So at this point, it's all down to the luck of the reel, or in this case, a fishing net. And the person to get all the fish first wins. It seems fate was on my side, and I got it just in time to secure victory. In a challenge I designed. I wonder why it didn't feel satisfying to win my own challenge. Why is that? With that challenge finally complete, Kyle and Natalie get back to building that courthouse, while Mad decides to also pitch in and make a fountain out front. Twice begins work on another piece of art for our city, and as we've seen time and time again, this one has to be just as good. I find a cute little lizard guy who looks like he'd be a great Pokemon, and I decide to capture him. I decided to show Twice my new little lizard friend I made. Look how cute he is. And Twice immediately kills it. Look at him. Isn't he cute? What the fuck? He's gonna die!
Did he die? Oh, he did. Bro. Oh.
What happened here?
What do you think happened? I'm gonna go
Oh,
fucking
no.
house again.
Why did he die?
I would have picked it back up and you fucking killed it. Your first
I
instinct was to ruin the thing I love.
Creative
Your
mode
first
placing
thing,
a fucking mob
the first
egg,
thing
bro.
you
I
did
didn't
was
know
ruin the
Pokemon
thing I
was
love.
in this
The
game,
first
bro.
thing you did was ruin the thing I love.
Hey kids, stop fighting.
And it died, and somehow that's twice his
He
fault.
punched it. He punched it. He killed it.
I didn't kill it, it fell. Gravity did its thing, alright?
You punched it off the
He
cliff.
punched it off. Oh.
He looked at it and instead of saying, "Oh, that's cool," or "I don't care," he just straight up punched it off.
I didn't kill it. I just let gravity do its thing.
I get revenge by returning to my roots and turning all of Twice's wood into crafting tables.
Mamma mia, that's a lot of craft.
Kyle and Natalie also finish up the courthouse. It even comes with a gavel, but there wasn't actually a gavel, so they use a doorbell. And the fact that a doorbell exists will set off a cascade of events in the future. Matt decides to help out Kov, and finally give the guy a roof, since in 185 days, Kov still hasn't built one. I casually travel around the world, just to explore it, and I find a guy who controls the power of the sun. You heard me. The fucking sun! Twice and I decide to work through our problems and take on this threat together. After fighting him and almost going supernova along with him.
Gaping on that.
What the fuck is that? We defeat him and I gain the abilities of the sun myself. One small step for Ami, one big leap for wizard kind. While Kov loots a desert pyramid, Mad finishes Kov's house upgrade. Let it be known, Mad still doesn't actually have a home. I know we haven't mentioned it in a while, but the server has been crashing more and more frequently, and that's totally not a bad omen for the future, and, well, here's You know, here's another example. Look, see, it does still crash. We don't talk about it because it's all the time. And somehow getting worse. Remember how a few days ago I stated that the discovery of a doorbell would set off an array of issues? Well, with the knowledge of this item's existence, I find there to be another way I can annoy my friends. By doing a terrible bit. I craft a bunch of doorbells, creating a network of chaos. I start by heading over to Natalie's house, and it turns out she already has a doorbell out front. So I have no reason to be there, and very, very nicely and politely say goodbye to her dog. For some reason, everyone seems to take this as a threat. I would never. Goodbye, Natalie's dog.
You
Well, at least
better
it
not.
isn't
I made my way to Twice's house and start ringing the doorbell over and over, literally till it's night out, asking Twice to answer the door. Once I get bored, I do it to Kyle, give him some potato latkes, then back to Twice, and shoot him with lasers. But none of that was as weird as whatever the fuck Kava's doing. A grain of infinity? Taming a big lion? What the hell is he doing? What is he planning? I return to Natalie's house to now ring her doorbell on repeat, but she's not home. So I say a very nice and polite goodbye to her dog. Goodbye, Natalie's dog.
No, don't
It's
you
gone.
even think about it.
Wow. Okay. I see what my friends think of me. How dare I say goodbye, formally and kindly, to a dog? What the hell's their problem? Cal finds a mountain outside his house that looks just like the side profile of Squidward. And, yeah, holy fuck, that is just Squidward. I also found out our battle arena lost a ton of blocks from a mod removal, creating a new, revolutionary form of redstone, and some magical torches. Kyle finds a mycelium on the top of his mountain for some reason, with no idea how it got there. But that wasn't the strangest thing. There was also a dodo bird. Kyle takes good care of it by re-extincting it and naming him Raw Dodo. How sweet. He even gives it a bed to sleep next to his Megalodon friend. Charles goes mining and Natalie decorates her house. I also visit Natalie and say goodbye to her poor dog once more. I'm always
Meet me at Natalie's dog.
Meet me at Natalie's dog in heaven. I was just saying goodbye to it. I don't get what everyone's so up in their ass about. I was just saying goodbye to the poor dog. Fuck.
The poor dog.
You
Leave
wind
my dog out of
up
this.
in my ass. I don't know what everyone else.
You're not gonna believe it, but Fresky actually returns home after, a long time of doing whatever it is he was doing. I don't want to lay all my frustrations on him all at once, so I help teach him some magic, and he becomes a sorcerer. Natalie and Charles also seem interested and join in on the lessons and learn some basics of magic. Fresky fails a spell in their training and floods the mage tower, putting a halt to their training. But after that's cleaned, he finally gets the spell correct and can conjure a pickaxe at will, and I learn some new lightning spells. Twice goes to my house, and to mess with me, he fills the entire home full of signs that say, like an Enderman. Twice Natalie and I all go mining together to get some ores and minerals we don't have a ton of. Returning home, I finally drop the bomb and reveal to Fresky that he and I are no longer together, and ask him to go to the courthouse to finish filing some paperwork. As we arrive, Fresky shows his true colors and refuses to accept the divorce, and instead attacks the fucking courthouse. With the mage spells that I had taught him, he conjures a wave of mobs and creatures to take over the court in his rule. Twice, Kav and I fight off the waves of monsters as others flee the scene. Fresky, fighting a losing battle, escapes the building as we are distracted by the monsters pouring out. The pursuit to capture and detain the now criminal, Fresky, begins. Twice and I follow closely, but unfortunately, Twice can't keep up. I blast through the air with my new lightning spell, and Fresky uses a slime sling paired with wings to launch and fly. Moment by moment, Fresky gets more and more out of my reach, and finally, he gets away, becoming the most and only wanted man on the server. Forgot to add the most important part of the night. I return home and see Twice's like an Enderman signs, and I just break down seeing them. Like an Enderman. Kyle and Natalie start to build a jail cell underneath the courthouse, since this is no longer a paper signing for divorce, but instead a trial for a federal crime. Fresky turns himself in and comes to trial. Natalie stands as the judge, Kyle as my lawyer, Kav as the jury, Charles is that one citizen who comes to watch the trial in person, and Twice is the security guard. Of course, that's until Fresky pays him off and instead he becomes Fresky's lawyer. I think he stole all my diamonds.
Did you have more than three
That's
diamonds?
not. Hey, you can't prove that. You can't prove that. I'm his lawyer now, okay? I'll defend you.
Twice is a tough opponent, as he has extensive training from binging Better Call Saul on multiple occasions. The trial, as seen by this footage from the court case, might be a bit tough to see, but it's raw, it's real, It's as real as it can ever get.
Whenever they say something, just say objection hearsay.
Alright, he wants to go first.
Objection hearsay!
Who wants to go first?
My client, Secco Frecky Chance. Frecky. You have no evidence against Fresky Secco Chance, alright?
Objection, yes, we do.
Objection, I have a 2-hour
Objection, no, you
recording.
don't.
Objection, yaha.
Objection, I have a 2-hour recording.
Oh, objection. Where were you on the, today?
night of
Where were
the
you
today. I was here.
Under Article 63, Section 42, Header Number 5, Part A, it says that the defendant's lawyer is not allowed to question my client.
What?
Objection! That is
Overruled.
illegal!
I'm fucking...
You're mistaken. I do not have a closing.
Alright, that's fine, then
I-
I'll say my closing statements. Oh my god, Charles
Hey,
just broke through the
This
wall.
man is guilty!
Fresky, with all of us here, attacked and took claim just so he didn't have to get a divorce. He put hundreds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, several lives at stake. Fresky has done nothing but harm the people in the server, and I believe he should be sentenced to jail.
We are our own lawyers, then I will speak as a lawyer.
The
Since I didn't know
lawyers
we
are
were
just
lawyers.
fired now. They fired their lawyer.
This is
You know, you make a very good case for me. If only I knew what it was. Charles is
Seems
dying.
the audience is dead.
By the next day, the trial is finished, and the jury of one person votes that Fresky is guilty. Oh! In your face, bitch! Natalie sentences him to jail, but doesn't exactly provide how long, so it's assumed to be forever. So, he's in jail forever. That's the sentence. Fresky goes in willingly, and as he sees the doors shut and us walk away, saying our final goodbyes, he opens up his inventory. It seems we'd forgotten to give him a pat down. Will this be the last we see of the most wanted man in our Minecraft server? A huge thing happened on this day. A monumental thing happened on this day. There was like an entire 2 sessions of recorded episodes that just never could be used because they were completely unplayable, leading up to the recording that you see now. Lysinites had to unfortunately be removed because it was really breaking the server. Goodbye, monsters that made our lives insufferable. It won't be the same without them. It seems that did the trick though, and our server is performing outstandingly. Well, outstandingly by our server's standards. Matt, who's most certainly in survival mode, builds a path to the tower. It's quite sparkly. Now that the server is actually somewhat stable, Kav and I head to the Twilight Forest together and begin to travel to the next boss after the Naga. You know, over 30 days later, Kav and I make it to the Lich King's castle and make our way up while being attacked by monsters and floating books. As we confront the Lich King, he too is an infernal mob, which isn't great. It takes far too long to kill him, but we do end up defeating him. Kav and I wander aimlessly looking for the next boss, the Minotaur. Like I said, the server was doing good, but only by its standards. It still indeed does crash. We finally find the Minotaur's maze, and like any good maze, we get lost for 4 whole days. Kav gives up on doing this the right way and uses his Enderman hand to cheat and walk through the walls. We end up fighting the boss, and it hits me, and oh, right, my armor. Yeah, it's gone. Anyways, whoa, it's here again. What the heck? How did it do that? I watched the battle from a very respectful distance now and let Kav do his thing, which happened to be a really successful strategy because it died in like an instant. The next on our list is the Hydra for things that we need to battle, and by battle, I mean I watch Kav while he 2-shots things, unless it's Infernal, of course. We make our way there over the course of a few days, and there he is. Oh, cool, so this is also broken. Yeah, it just didn't spawn. Oh wait, I blinked and suddenly he totally spawned in! That's crazy, so wacky, silly Minecraft. We decide to summon Kyle to the battlefield since I really can't actually do anything from a far distance. Turns out the Minotaur was weirdly easy, because the Hydra was quite challenging and took multiple lives in the process. The next dungeon isn't that far away, but it is in a place called the Dark Forest. As the name implies, it's really dark, and it takes us a while to find our way, but we end up making it to the giant dungeon. The dungeon itself is deep and dark. It's not as big as the Minotaurs, but certainly a lot more to stop and look around at. Like this ore room, for example, which looks like it's a terrible trap, but nope, it's just an ore room. We end up finding some armored warriors and take them on not once, but twice, allowing us to move on to the next area, after we struggle to find our way out of this giant place, that is. The next dungeon is also in the dark forest, but it's not very far away. We make our way to a massive, might I add, terrifying looking tower. Kyle, Kov, and I make our way up this tower. The tower is so big we spend days climbing it, fighting against monsters, cheating in parkour, struggling to find keys, and Kyle activating a black hole. All the while, our ears are being blown out by the sound of an ergast, which is like a giant ghast that's really loud. By day 228, we make our way to the top and take on the ergast. At first, it was to complete this game, but at this point, it was to make sure those bass-boosted, microphone-amplified gas cries were never heard again. Fueled by our drive to fix our hearing, considering we're all probably partially deaf after this, we end up taking it down by literally absorbing its soul. When we return home, I give Twice some cool plant life that I found in the Twilight Forest, since the guy likes to build so much. Twice apparently hates it so much, he doesn't just spit on it, he throws it away and attacks me, teleporting him away, fracturing our already bruised friendship even further. After all this time of using magic, my staff gains experience high enough to unlock and upgrade to a master level wand. You proud of me yet, Ma? I'm a mastered wizard in a Minecraft modded server! I learned a sweet new spell that allows me to smite a bunch of nearby entities, so now I have the power of thunder and the sun. With Twice struggling to build his house, Kyle living in a literal shithole, and Mad only building a frame in over 230 days, I realize we spend so much time needing and gathering materials when all this gathering could have been done automatically. And to do that, all we needed was a quarry. I guess at this point, it's probably time to do that. And it's not just any quarry I want, but the Ender Quarry. This quarry mines straight out of another dimension, which means none of our landscape will be ruined from its existence. Pretty nifty stuff. The first step to this is to gather a nether star, to make a magic snow globe, to put inside the machine, to make what I assume is the magic that allows it to pull out of the thin air. To get another star though, we need wither skulls. So we spent 2 days gathering skulls. Matt and I go under the city into the mine shaft we made. We spawn the wither and the intense fight begins. But just as it starts, it just as quickly ends. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's right. My armor teleports things. Surely a rogue wither won't be a future problem, right? Right. We end up respawning it, and I keep a very far distance. And by that I mean I go in creative mode as Mad takes it on and gets the star. We grab the rest of the needed materials, and I craft the snow globe. Step 1, done. Easy. Except for the now missing wither, but we can ignore that. It turns out we're not done with the snow globe just yet. We have to activate it, and to do this we have to go to a bunch of biomes in order to, what I assume, is obtain the magic otherworldly abilities. I spend the day flying around, unlocking more biomes for the snow globe. I end up finding all the needed biomes, and build the quarry. The next step is to add some attachments to it. Again, I don't know what any of this actually means, but maybe it's to help it teleport to another world. Who the fuck knows? Let's just pretend that's what it does. We fly to the end and get some chorus fruit. See? Dimensional stuff. Thankfully, we don't need a flyback because we are brutally killed. It's all good though, because we successfully craft the attachments. The final step in creating this would be providing it some power. To do that, we need solar panels and pipes, so we need tech and steel. I craft some machines to help with just that. I spend the next few days mining for materials to gather for the solar panels, while Natalie works on her house and actually making it look really nice. While mining, however, I met with something unsettling. Remember that wither? Yeah, that one that we lost? It's nowhere to be found, but its name does appear. So it's very much still alive and very much still under our city. I go to continue crafting the solar panel, but immediately run out of ore, and so instead of going mining again, I go to Kov's house and steal. He doesn't actually have anything I need, so instead of stealing steel, I steal magic books. I end up getting distracted by that and learn some new spells, and accidentally flood Kyle's front door in that process with a failed spell. So, sorry about that, dude. No, I don't clean it. No, I don't take care of it. The only other way to test this spell is to test it on a mob. Unfortunately, my invulnerable teleporting armor keeps things at arm's length, making it impossible to learn, but also teaching me that this armor will keep me lonely till the end of time. Ping-ponging, I'm either stuck down in the caves, digging for more materials, or I'm up there trying to desperately craft this item. Finally, I got everything I need and I'm able to put the solar panel together. And with that ready, I finally activate our quarry. It works! Just incredibly slowly. Like a... With a new quarry installed, I do think this is a turning point for the server. One where things are about to get better, but little do I know that's not the case at all, and as a matter of fact, this final stretch is probably some of the worst. See you next time!